ladies and gentlemen, Vagran Gaming. It's been a little bit. Got I guess a little bit of a story for you guys. Over the past couple of weeks, it's actually been kind of nice. While I was distracted doing some other stuff, I kept getting emails and notifications saying, "Hey, new subscriber," and it was actually really cool. So to the people who have subscribed in the past week, first off, thanks for checking out the channel. Thank you for subscribing. And thank you for waiting. Because, well, I got hooked on another game, and it kind of took me off guard and ate up a ton of time. So, this is a brief bit of background. One of the games that I've had a lot of love for from back in the day was a game called Valkyrie Profile. It was for the PlayStation 1, I'm pretty sure. If you've had a chance to play it, you know what I'm talking about. And if you haven't, you might still be able to find a copy for it on the PlayStation Portable for not too much money. And basically, it was a game that was a JRPG, but the way the combat worked was every button on your controller was mapped to a different character. And by chaining the moves, because they could all attack up to, say, 3-4 times a piece, I think 3, you can make huge combos. So if the reward part of your brain likes combos, it's amazing. And it's crazy addicting. I had so much fun playing that game back in the day. And another game that I deeply loved was Disgaea. Disgaea had like a pretty deep grinding based system that allowed you to customize your team. So if you put both of those two things together, that crazy combat system that revolves around combos, plus a deep system that allows you to customize your group with a bit of grinding, you put those two together and you get Final Fantasy Brave Exvius. And that's what I've been doing for the past couple of weeks. It's a free-to-play mobile game, which I know that might sound odd to some people, like, oh, I got hooked on a free-to-play game. But again, like, I loved Disgaea and Valkyrie Profile so much that to see those two elements combined, like, there were times where I almost couldn't put it down. And one thing that's nice is that as far as free-to-play games, it's pretty generous, actually. Like, to be completely honest, it's really generous. So, yeah, that's what I've been up to for the past couple of weeks, trying to pull myself away from that. And I went a little crazy, to be completely honest. So, and again, I have to apologize because I forgot your name. But someone actually messaged me over Twitter, and they're like, "Hey, what's going on? When's the next video coming?" And I'm like, "Oh, right. I should put Brave Exvius down for a minute and work on that." So you have him to thank. And from me personally, yes, thank you, because I was kind of like in a drug-induced stupor. So I thought it'd be cool to pull one of the older Gunslinger matches that I forgot I'd recorded, and this was a fun match because, like, we started short, as you probably saw, but you know, we did okay. And like, I wasn't always like great at performing on my Gunslinger. It was one of those classes that it's like I enjoyed it and like it's fun, so I'm gonna do this for a bit. And this is one match where, you know, things came together pretty nicely. Now, it looks like they're calling it the pylon, and because I'm in survival mode, I didn't notice. And now I'm looking around, and I've got 3 people on me, and I'm just trying to keep some distance. And I think that's about when I noticed the call out of the pylon, and I figured, you know, I'm about to die, fighting 4-on-1. Now's as good a time as any to head to the pylon. So I did. So now we're trying to get it back. And we've got one assassin there, and if he doesn't have a stealth out, we should be able to get him. He popped his shield, so it's going to be hard to hurt him. Or is it? Dun dun dun. We got him. And fortunately, there wasn't a ton of backup that rushed in to try to support him, because if that assassin had more backup, we would have been in trouble. Although we did have a bit of pressure going on their pylon, which is probably part of it. So I see this sniper carrying an orb, and taking out an orb carrier, especially if they have a bunch of defenses that'll help give them distance, I mean, it's tempting to try to get them, but I've only been able to pull it off a couple of times. Like, I went for the leg shot, and I'm just trying to stall them. Like, I'm not expecting to be able to beat them, especially if they're like on their way out. They run to the corner, their team capped the pylon, and now I'm like, well, it's worth a shot. Time to get out of here. So I popped surrender. Pretty sure it's surrender. got a little bit of a speed boost, and I got out of there. Threw an interrupt on that healer, and he stealthed out. Pretty smart. I think that was him just passing outside of mid. And a quick note, I'm horrible with names, as I've said multiple times. But I've teamed up a couple of times with the characters from that guild, like the LOL over and over. My buddy O-Knight, I think it's either his guild or he's one of the officers. I'm not sure how it works, but he's really good. He is a nightmare to fight against when he's on his scoundrel or his operative. It's a bad time trying to get away from him. and like that's the guild that he runs with. I think there's another player that I met, Sati. I'm probably butchering the pronunciation. They play a pretty good Sage Healer, and Sage Healers is one of those classes that I tried playing it a couple of times and had absolutely no idea what was happening. So when I meet a good Sage Healer, I'm easily impressed, to say the least. So if you ever see me gushing over a Sage Healer, that's why. It's because to me they're wizards. Because I tried it, and man, it was not pretty. The only healing I can kind of do is on a commando, and that's relying on their self-heals. So they're pressuring our pylon. Fortunately, the team is responding, and I noticed the healer there. Someone popped a net on them. I tried to do what I can, and it's just one of those things, when they pop their dodge, I'm always like, crap, what do I do? Because if it works the way I think it does, like I know my white damage will miss, and I'm in marksman, Gunslinger is like all white damage. I throw my grenade, and then like I pretty much have to wait, because using flyby is pretty much not worth it usually, because all I got to do is like take a couple of steps out of range. You know, they can just walk out of the circle, and they're done. But the team rallied. It looks like pretty much all of us are here, and we got our pylon. So we're a bit ahead. I'm just going to do some quick math, and looks like we're just shy of 40 points. Is that 38? Man, like I'm bad at math and with names, and this video is just kind of exposing me left and right, so yeah. The perfect match to break a brief hiatus with, right? Showing everybody my lack of skills with basic life skills. I saw that stealth that's trying to sneak past me, and I hit my knockback thinking it might do a touch of damage and pop him out. Looks like it didn't.
It's done. But
then I'm like, Cable's getting hurt, and we can't have that. So looks like he's self-healing, and while he's healing himself, it looks like Doxy is still shooting away at them. So I popped a couple of my perks, gunned them down right through the heals that they were getting. And it looks like we have the advantage in mid. Looks like their healer was like edging out towards their native pylon. I've got the, I don't know what to call that thing, the cube? The cube is like right next to me, so I thought I might get a little bit of cover from that. But I mean, it's not like there was a ton of range on the other side of it anyway. And now, Turn Ironside wants to arrange a playdate between his missile collection and my face, and I don't want that to happen. So I may have messed that up. Like I kind of doubled up on my defenses. I hit the dodge and then the scrambling field, and that was probably a bit of a waste. But I got nervous, and when I get nervous, I panic and just start hitting all the buttons. So that's what happened there. And one of the things I like to do, specifically because the cooldown on your execute is so low, and it's a skill that you get to practice a lot because you get it so early. If I notice someone has low health, I'll usually try to switch over to them and try to help finish them off, just because I think it's called quick draw. But like you get that skill at like, I don't know if it's below level 20, but I remember whenever I leveled the Gunslinger, and every now and then I would level 1 and run Violence or Dirty Fighting, like, you know, just for fun, and I would always forget each time, and I'd hit like, I don't want to say level 14 because I'm pretty sure that's not it, but like oh cool, I got my execute already, awesome. And like when you're doing lobby PvP, it's pretty sweet, because like all you gotta do is like, you don't have a ton of attacks to use yet, so you just kind of use whatever attacks you do have. Ah, nice. With a quick draw. You look around, just use the attacks you do have, and look around, and eventually someone's health's gonna get low, and then bam, quick draw. It's oh man, finishing people off with that never gets old. I mean, it's just like Demolition Round. That's another skill that I'm crazy in love with. Like, I love Demolition Round. It's one of the things that kept me playing a commando for so many years. And I'd switched over to I was doing, I can't remember which one I was playing the longest, but like it was relatively recent when I was on a gunslinger kick for the channel that I switched to gunslinger. I switched to sharpshooting, and I think somebody in the comments was like, "Oh, no more violence," and I think I got around that by my sniper. I finally got him leveled up to 70, and I found some people to play with, and I use him for violence, for the dirty fighting fix, and this guy stays on sharpshooting. And I haven't actually run him in a little bit because I wanted to get over that difficulty curve of playing a sentinel, and that's been a lot of fun. So like, there's definitely going to be more sentinel videos coming up in the near future. And a fun fact, that's when I learned that when I'm up on top in the middle of the cube there, your knockback won't work on someone who's like popping up and down below you. So that was fun. And I'm really, really glad Ix was there. Otherwise, I would have died. Because like I made myself the center of attention, which is usually the last thing I want to do. But a friend of mine before was like, "Oh, you didn't do the high ground," because like I did a video where I was making jokes about the high ground, and then I didn't do it again. So I think I had that in mind. And I was like, you know what, he'll like this. So I jumped up on the high ground, and I regretted it almost immediately. so there you go. So Doxy was kind of parked. I put the flyby on them, honestly, just because I wanted them to move, and it kind of worked because they walked out into the middle there, and I got him. I got him. That's another voice clip I should use. Like, whenever I hit a killing blow, I should get a clip of that guy from I think it was Instagram or something. He's just like laughing, going, "Got him!" If you haven't seen it before, it's pretty amusing. For a little while, like in voice with my guild members, I would be yelling that a lot, and nobody really knew what I was referencing, which is fine. So that was just a fun little match. I was happy that I didn't die, and that was more so because of Ix, because I panicked and screwed up my cooldowns a bunch of times. But I hope you guys enjoyed the match, and thanks for watching.